here we have the young man, 20 years old, the most junior you can be in our adult category. We move in to the bantamweight at 61.2 kilos and 135 pounds. Asef Chopurov, representing RMMAU. He has done a fantastic job leading into this final. Showed extreme talent in every single diversity. Has not taken much damage too, in absolute dominance in the semi-finals yesterday. I was extremely impressed from him, mainly getting the takedowns, getting on top, but not afraid of ground and pound, likes to get posture, likes to throw heavy, moves extremely well, and seamless connections between the mixed martial arts.
One of the viable options to bring into the cage wrestling, to dictate the pace, dictate the top position, and minimize damage, you alluded to, Luke. Very important in the tournament fashion. Often we see in the finals, they really start to let loose, and we see their true self come to play. They throw the crazy techniques, the spinning back fist, but it's safe to say the man from the RMMAU is going to look for the takedown.
And now please welcome his opponents. From Ukraine, Іван Pasych.
Іван Pasich, representing Ukraine, with her great chants from their team all the way through this champions. And he had an extremely interesting bout yesterday, taking on the Kingdom of Bahrain, definitely the underdog there yesterday. And during the fight in the first round, in the last second of the first round, he managed to get Murad Ibragimov to tap via armbar. It was a very uncertain situation, and the judges allowed the fight to continue, and we saw the second and we saw the third round. So he had a hard fought out third round fight. And on the judges' scorecard, Murad Ibragimov won the first, the second, and the third round. But Ivan made him tap in the first. And when Mark Odog had a look at the footage, it was overthrown, and the decision for him to come here to our finals was made. So, real underdog story here for him. Coming into these finals, thought he lost the fight, got the call, and now he's back.
Ladies and gentlemen, I now present 3 3-minute rounds in the men's junior bantamweight final. Introducing first in the blue corner, representing RMMAU, Asef Chopurov. And his opponent in the red corner, representing Ukraine, Іван Pasych. Your referee in charge of the action from the Czech Republic, Jan Vorbornik.
Fighters, fight fair, fight well, and always for win. Бойцы, покажите честный и лучший бой. Touch gloves, go back to the corner. Good luck.
Here we go for our junior bantamweight title fight. We have Asef Chopurov, representing RMMAU in the blue, taking on Iván Pasych, representing Ukraine in the red.
Asef will use a lot of fakes and feints to disguise that overhand right. He twitches that front shoulder and pumps the jab out. Oh, and there's a level change.
Ivan getting hold of the head and jumps guard.
Guillotine attempt here, Luke. He's going to pull full guard. He's not got the arm in either, so he's got maximum leverage. He's off the cage. He's going to pull that left elbow nice and high. Looks like there's a good connection between the two here.
They're doing all the right things as Asef, good shoulder pressure on that right side and manages to escape, but dangers early. Shows the confidence in Ivan on the ground.
That's the precarious position you put yourself in when you jump guard for a submission. If you don't pull it off, now you're on the bottom. You've got to work quite hard to reverse this position. Get back to the feet, look for the sweeps. We can spend energy, you know, and also if your opponent can keep you where you are off your back, you can land the ground and pound.
Especially so early in the first round, but Ivan managing to somehow go back to his feet. Getting tossed back down, though, on a slight judo attempt. Now he fights for the back. Asef does well to get both hooks in as well. Separation from the cage between the two.
He's crossed the feet, however, which will allow his opponent to switch round and turn into him. You know, he can go for the body triangle, which is a good squeeze, but he wants to put the inside of the heels on the front of the hips, so when his opponent turns, he'll follow him.
There's so many small intricacies in this position, but the important thing, Asef right now attacking for the submission, very aggressive, off his back. Ivan looks uncomfortable here. Asef not just fighting hands, but also landing some good shots too. Good wrist control on that far side.
Ivan covering up well here, but he's not recognised that the feet are crossed and he could relatively easily turn. But yeah, that's a good point out there, Luke. You send that leg underhooked, the right leg. Now he's got the opportunity to turn, but then he goes back to the traditional hooks. It's going to be difficult to finish with the choke here with the cage behind him.
Good work from Ivan there to recognise that he could use his hand at that moment because he had one of the other hands pinned. Manages to get out of the danger of that back control, but still on the bottom, still struggling with this pressure from Asef Chopurov. I'm not sure he's regretting pulling guard, but being on the bottom here doesn't look fun.
Well, that's the thing here. He's got to try and get back to his feet. He's got to throw up submissions and be cautious with the ground and pound. 10 seconds left, so let's say you could argue that he's going to go into the second round here. But this is a learning experience for him. You know, potentially now he's going to be a little bit more tentative to jump guard unless it's at the end of the round.
Yeah, but like I said, I mean, Ivan coming into this one probably beat one of the standouts of the tournament in Murad Ibragimov out of the Kingdom of Bahrain, and he beat it off his back with an armbar very quickly in the last second. So we know he's capable of victory from there. We see here now, early on in the first, kind of sloppy back and forth from both men. Enters in, does Ivan. As soon as he gets hold of that neck, climbing up him like a tree and trying to contort that neck, but great work from Asef straight away.
Asef with some great ground and pound from the back position. You can see here from the camera angle, look at the right leg entwined underneath the left leg. You pointed that out on the camera view we have here on the monitor, and that prevented Ivan from turning into his opponent even though the feet were crossed.
Yeah, lacing that leg is a high level thing to be able to do, especially for both these young men. They're just showing such incredible skills, incredible skill sets so early on in their careers. Here we go, round number 2. See if there's any tactical changes from Ivan.
Ivan looking to land that punishing body shot. He went upstairs and downstairs. Oh, there's the uppercut to deter the takedown attempt. Asef with the double underhooks now, looking for the outside trip.
Looks very powerful here as he grabs on that tight waist.
Battle of top position here. Great work by Asef. Those double underhooks are key in that position, the body lock. Used the outside trip to disbalance. Ivan ended up in the top position.
I felt like Ivan was doing a fantastic job, and then quickly just a switch of position and turning the corner from Asef, gets it back down to the mat. Very similar situation to round number 1. Foot on the hip from Ivan. It's going to allow him to create some space and be offensive off his back.
Ivan trying to stuff that left arm through of Asef, but going to find it a little bit difficult to gain some momentum with his head up against the cage. He's got to try and circle off it, potentially looking for the armbar here.
Solid left hands from Asef in this position. Seems quite content. This is how he's been for the full competition, really. We've seen him get the top position. He's been very hard to shift from here.
There's something that I've been thinking about throughout the tournaments over the years is at what point as a referee do you stand them up? What do you deem as inactivity? It's kind of up to the referee's discretion. I was thinking to myself, like, imagine if they had a timer cage side of when there was inactivity and they timed. When it got to a certain amount, they initiate the stand-up. Because certain referees, for instance, if you have a referee that's a wrestler or a jiu-jitsu guy or a striker, potentially their perceptions are going to be different to when to stand this fight to the ground. Take this fight off the ground, excuse me.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm not sure we need that here with Asef. He's raining down some big ground and pound, but we have seen it throughout this competition. You know, certain teams, certain nations' tactics have been to get it to the mat and kind of just hold it there. And it does slow down the action. Big right hand there from Asef. Oh, nice hammer fist, switching the angle of how he's raining down the damage.
Singular shots from Asef as always, making sure he brings those hands out of jeopardy and follows the hips now. If he passes the guard, he's going to have more of an ample opportunity to land more powerful shots. Oh, heavy barrage of punches from the top position. 10 seconds left in the round.
Asef just bullying him here with pure power. Needs to be aware of him trying to throw up that armbar, but fantastic stuff from Chopurov here in that second round. Similar to the first, but I feel like a lot more dominance shown. I feel like he's worked out Ivan's game, understands what he's trying to do, and he's just negating it so well. Wearing a lot of pain on the face of Ivan.
Take a look at the replay here. Ivan looking for the level change, but it was a double underhooks with a key for Asef to complete this takedown. He mixed in the outside trip beautifully, but as he turned the corner here, he obtained the takedown.
Nice drop to the knees just to change the angle. Like I said, Ivan doing a fantastic job of stuff. He must have stopped 2, 3, 4 different attempts there. But Chopurov non-stop trying to make it to the mat. Once he gets there, complete dominance really from him. Never in any sort of danger. A lot of frustration coming out of Ukraine's corner. Going to need to see urgency. You see the frustration there. Going to need to see urgency and a different attack, a different tactic maybe coming in this third from Ivan. We cannot have more of the same. Like I say, big underdog coming into this final.
It's a precarious position here for Ivan because he's got to go for broke. But, oi, there we go. But at what point do you give up the takedown? That's the thing with swinging for the fences. You give up the takedown. You've got to be patient with your combinations and move off that center line and be ready to sprawl. But Asef, a great wrestler.
Yeah, and it's the, you know, the ultimate neutralizer, isn't it? When you can just shoot in that double. Saw the frustration come out, but it's better from Ivan to at least be attempting that and doing something rather than more in the first round. He landed a heavy hook too, but now we need to see activity. We've only got 2.5 minutes. 2.5 minutes to win that gold medal. What are you doing? Let's go, let's go, let's go. He needs to be really pushing for something. Easy to say, hard to do with Asef Chopurov on top, hammering down.
This is such a debilitating position for those that have been here with somebody on top of you. You can't move, the cage is behind you, you can't get to your feet. They ground and pound every time you try and change the angle. It is very difficult. But like you said, Ivan's got to pull the trigger here. He's got to get back to his feet or hold on to his opponent, break the posture and force a stand-up.
And that's what I see, you know. When Ivan's here, he's obviously very comfortable in the full guard. I've seen his jiu-jitsu game from the bottom. He has a very good one. That's not what you need here. You don't need your full guard position. Full guard does nothing for you when your head is pinned up against the fence. Old school Tito Ortiz style, raining down ground and pound. The only way you're going to stand up, the only way you're going to attack something is with an open guard. Maybe lift the legs a little bit higher.
Okay, now I'm trying to attempt from the bottom here. I didn't get a bite on the neck.
And Chopurov shakes that off and we're back to it. Already gone halfway through this third round now as well. And still, see how the legs are locked with that full guard opening up now. The legs still locked from Ivan. You're not going to change the situation. You need the foot on the hip. This is what you need. Right foot on the hip. You need to try and create something, create some space.
A minute left here in the third round for Ivan to work off of his back. These techniques that he's imploring just serve to hold Asef on top of him. As of yet, he hasn't tried to cage walk back to his feet. He's looking for the head and arm.
Again, looking for this head and arm. Has a little bit of a better bite on it this time, but still not sure it's deep enough to cause Asef too much trouble.
You can see there's cover in the ears. Needs to be on the neck to fully choke. In this instance, it'd be Ivan's arm and his opponent's arm that would initiate the choke, so he's got to make sure he constricts that nice and tight.
Yeah, I feel like Ivan just happy to take a break from getting hammered in the face by these big shots.
Ivan looking to walk up for the armbar. Great postural awareness here from Asef.
I'm surprised even Chopurov wanting to open up the game. He's comfortably won all 3 rounds in the same position, but standing up and still looking to finish shows the real heart of a champion there, looking they wants to entertain and get this fight done. And that ends our 3rd and final round. Can't see it any other way than Asef Chopurov being crowned our junior champion.
Solid game plan, and you hear the applause from the crowds and the coaches. A well-earned victory for the gold. There's a lot on the line, and bragging rights as well to be the IMF World Champion. A huge, huge feather in the cap, and a massive stamp on your CV. That's why you saw in the replay here use his bread and butter, which is the rest and the takedowns, to get the top position, ground and pound, keep busy, stay out of submissions.
Yeah, and I feel for Ivan, you know, he put on a good show, did his best, very valiant effort from him. But I feel like he'll go back, he'll watch this footage, and he'll see he just spent too much time on his back, happy in that full guard. Didn't really change the dynamics of the fight. Maybe we see him come back next year with a whole new game plan.
Ladies and gentlemen,